Awesome. Awesome. Who enjoyed that Panettone party last night? It was awesome, right? I thought the food, the venue, was a little hot upstairs, but didn't matter. I was still hanging out up there. My wife and I had a great time. The food was great, right? And I'm pretty sure, because I stayed till the end, till the balloon dropped. Who stayed for the balloon drop? It was awesome. If I didn't have that good of a vantage point, but from where I was standing, I'm pretty sure I saw Del Marquardt in the kick line. Did anybody else see that? Oh no, that was on the podium. On the stock exchange. That's my best Del right there. You're never living that one down. We've got that one forever. Okay. It was a great way to put a crescendo or an exclamation point on our 75th anniversary. So thanks again to Panettone for sponsoring last night's party. It's a round of applause for Panettone. By the way, the reason I'm holding these glasses is they're not my prescription strength. Yes, I do wear readers. I prefer not to. You know, it's a vanity thing. But somebody left their glasses at the Panettone party. They were turned into us. Check your pockets. Anybody have such a good party that you might have forgotten your glasses? We have them for you. We will hold them up here, okay? All right, so in 2012, as most of you probably know by now, SIOR launched into a partnership with NAIOP or NAIOP. It's filled with mutual beneficial opportunities. It's a wonderful relationship. I've personally been able to get involved in NAIOP as a result of that. Newmark has become a sponsor of it because we enjoyed our interaction with NAIOP so much. It's a really nice complement to everything that SIOR is and vice versa. And so it is my great pleasure at this moment to introduce NAIOP's 2017 incoming chairman. And they get chairman and we get president, and I don't think that's fair. We'll have to fix that. But Jonathan Tratt, why don't you come up and give us a few words on NAIOP. Thank you. You get the stage to yourself, buddy.
Thanks, Jeff. Good morning. On behalf of NAIOP and our 18,000 members, I'm honored to be here today and to share a little bit about our partnership between NAIOP and SIOR. Before I do so, please permit me to share a little bit about myself. Tratt Properties is a boutique developer and investor of state-of-the-art logistics and distribution properties. We develop exclusively in Phoenix and have built over 3 million square feet. We also acquire the same asset class in select markets outside of Arizona and have bought over 3 million square feet as well. At present, our portfolio is a little over 3 million square feet in 5 properties. 3 things that have helped me in my career over the decades. 1 was moving to Phoenix over 30 years ago. 2 was becoming very involved in NAIOP about 15 years ago when I made my transition from brokerage myself to development. And thirdly, becoming an SOR affiliate developer member over 10 years ago and a proud local sponsor of SIR as well. I'm also a proud capital member of the SIR Foundation. Now back to the script. NAIOP conferences have earned a reputation as a place where deals happen. In fact, 98% of our attendees say they've met new partners or strengthened a relationship at NAIOP events. 40% say they've done a deal, and I can personally attest to that. I've done several deals at conferences and with NAIOP members. Our industrial conferences attract 10 of the top 10 industrial owners, 18 of the top industrial brokerage firms, and 9 out of the 10 top industrial developers. For nearly a decade now, SIR has been a key supporter of our conferences that focus on trends in office and industrial real estate. Our goal is to create meetings that connect NAIOP's top developers, owners, and investors with SIR's top brokers. SIOR's increasing involvement and support can make that happen. If you haven't been to one of our office or industrial programs, you're really missing out on one of the industry's premier opportunities for networking and deal making. Our next event is in LA on November 1 and 2, and it's OCON, the office conference. If If you haven't, NAOP is celebrating its 50th anniversary year and is more dedicated than ever to ensuring that we continue to provide our members with the knowledge, connections, and advocacy efforts that advances their careers and protect their businesses. Strengthening our partnership presents members of SOIR and NAOP with solid opportunities to build their businesses and expand their networks. NAOP looks forward to accomplishing this mission with the valuable collaboration between our two organizations. I look forward to working with Jeff in the coming year. Have a great conference, and thank you for your time.
As part of that partnership, I have a great privilege to go to Los Angeles and provide SIOR's opening remarks at the NAOP OCON event. And I'm looking forward to that. So thank you very much. There's something I wanted to do yesterday, and in the craziness of yesterday's session, I forgot. So would you guys just indulge me for a minute? I want everybody to squeeze together. Just everybody squeeze together. I need to remember this moment. Come on, a little closer. I'll do panoramic if I have to. Okay, thanks. You can watch for that on Twitter later. I just needed to get that out of the way. So listen, earlier this summer, I went to London as part of this European chapter event, our first ever, and it was amazing. It happened to coincide with the week that Brexit vote took place. And while nobody could have predicted that was going to happen or what the result of that vote would be, it was an absolute euphoric way to be a part of a European event. It really was educational. London was great. The weather was great. The food was great. It was a resounding success by every measure, by every expectation. And sometimes we really set that expectation bar high. So that's saying a lot. For me, the highlights maybe riding the eye and having that view, that panoramic view of the city of London is just incredible. It was beautiful. The event we had at Tower of London, so we had a private reception. We had the entire Tower of London to ourselves for a party. We were co-located there with IAMC, Industrial Asset Management Council, and the real estate executives that are their members. And so there was crossover programming one day, and we consumed content and networked with them. I personally found a way to talk my way into some deals with some of those folks, so it was great personally. And then, of course, there was the Brexit event. Absolutely amazing. So many people worked on this event. I know Leslie's here. You did an amazing job. So many people deserve shout-outs, but there's one person in particular that I swear to, I think, worked 2 or 3 years, not months, in advance of this event to make it super, super special. And he deserves super special recognition. So would Matthew Le Guin Delacroix come to the stage for a minute? I have a crystal I'd like to give you. Where's Matthew? Apparently Matthew's stuck in traffic. No, I'm kidding. Is he here? I was going to give you a Yeti too, but
thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
Congratulations on an amazing event.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's do a picture.
Thank you. Just very brief. Very briefly. Sorry, Lizzie. I think it was Sir Isaac Newton that said that he'd been able to see a lot further because he stood on the shoulders of giants. So I'm taking this on behalf of the European chapter committee. It was Europeans and Americans that helped put this together. So thank you for letting us see so much further.
What was the total attendance of that event?
340 people.
340 people.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So wait a minute, before you go, Matthew, selfishly, I just want to know, when's the next one? Have you started planning it?
I should have mentioned that. We have a date, June 2018. We'll know by the end of this year where we're going to have it, so it'll be in Europe, of course. I'm not giving any more away at the moment, but you'll hear from us again.
Wonderful. Thank you, buddy. Another round of applause for Matthew and for the whole team that worked on that event. That event really was awesome. So periodically, the SIOR past presidents present the Howell Watson Distinguished Service Award to an SIOR member. It takes something extraordinary or super special, I guess that's my words for the day, super special, for this award to be gifted or to be awarded. And so we don't do it every year, but we are doing it this year. It's our highest form of volunteer recognition, period, end of story. It recognizes outstanding service to SIOR through exceptional volunteer leadership, participation, and involvement in SIOR, programs and activities, and or contributions to the commercial real estate industry. So here with a special Howell Watson Distinguished Service Award presentation is SIOR past president Alan Gump.
Good morning. I'm actually doing this on behalf of Lynn Reich, who some of you may know. She had a spill and broke her ankle several months ago. She's had a surgery. She's doing much better, but she was unable to be here. So I am really doing this on behalf of Lynn Reich. And by the way, something that I just found out a couple of years ago, Hal Watson was from Dallas, Texas. So there you go. September 7th, 1944, Len Caldera makes his entrance into the world, and over the next 71 years, continually makes his mark on his community, industry, and his wonderful family. We have his son Jason here with us today. I thought you would want to know a little bit more about this great guy. He proudly served in the U.S. Army in Vietnam, a Bronze Star recipient, active member of the VFW in his hometown, Western Springs, Illinois. Member of their village board and was named Citizen of the Year in 1991, founded the annual Tower Trot race over 38 years ago for the benefit of Bare Necessities Pediatric Cancer Center. 2011 winner of the Cruising Division Mackinac Race Sailing was his passion. He was mentor in the James P. Krasecki and Northern Builders Scholarship Fund at the Roosevelt University since its inception over 7 years ago, and somebody can tell me how bad I hacked up these names later, but he joined SIOR in 1991 as an industrial specialist. He was SIOR local past president for the local chapter, SIOR scholarship chair. He added Northwestern, DePaul, and Roosevelt in addition to the University of Illinois, expanding the program. National highlights include 2 terms on the SIOR Board of Directors. He was Council Director for Education. Specialty Practice Board, he was Chair of the Land SPB. And he was SIOR Foundation Board of Trustees for over 6 years. Inner-city transactions, he did have a few. He completed transactions in 17 states, brokered over 6,000 acres of land transactions in the Chicago metropolitan area. Lynn was managing director of JLL's industrial service team and headed its land services group. Previously, he served as senior managing director for Cushman & Wakefield and was with LaSalle Partners, now JLL, for 23 years, where he founded LaSalle Chicago's industrial brokerage team in 1992. Awards, he had a few of those too. Industrial Build-to-Suit of the Year, Development of the Year, largest industrial transaction for SIOR nationally, and so many others. But the top ones include NAIOP Chicago's Award of Excellence in 2010 and the SIOR Chicago Chapter 2013 Richard G. Levy President's Award. And I know for that chapter, that's the top award they give. So that's a huge deal right there. And lastly, he was a long-time suffering Chicago Cubs fan. He would have been so happy to see them on their way to a World Series. Yeah. Last year in Chicago, in recognition of Lynn's service to our industry, SIOR and the scholarship effort, Northern Builders graciously offered to match contribution in Lynn's name to the SIOR Foundation up to $10,000 on an annual basis. And I'm happy to announce their chapter has met that goal. More importantly, Lynn was known within the industry as a class act, a consummate professional, and simply a really good guy. He brought respect, humility, and a great sense of humor to everything he did. And I just, speaking personally, Lynn was just one of the real sweethearts in this society. Treated everybody with respect, and was just a great guy to know. I know many of y'all here knew him, and we all love Lynn. So it's my honor to present to Jason the SIOR the Hal Watson Distinguished Service Award. Jason? Jason, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here to accept this on behalf of your dad and your family. And if you would like to, this is the award, if you want to say just a minute.
I'll try not to drop it. Thanks. Good morning. I don't know how many of you had a chance to work with him or know him, even just meet him, but I think anyone that would know how justified this award was. He was an amazing guy. A quick story to kind of put this into perspective. So at the services, at his visitation, at one point the line was snaking out of the funeral home, was going down the hall, out into the parking lot, and it was a sea of, navy blue suits and red ties as far as you could see, mostly people that he had worked with. And it was just person after person after person telling me how they wouldn't be where they were had it not been for his mentorship, how he had, built them up and raised them from nothing. And it was just dozens and dozens and dozens of people. And over the past year, I've heard words like legend and mentor and touchstone thrown around in regards to my dad. And that's really humbling. I don't know a whole lot of people in a whole lot of industries anywhere that get that sort of praise and recognition from their peers. So thank you for your support. On behalf of my family, thank you for support going back to when he was sick, to when he passed, and continuing his memory and his legacy on. It means the world to us, and my mom specifically, who could not be here unfortunately, wanted to say thank you on her behalf as well. So cheers, thank you.
I just need to add to that real quick. I was at that visitation, and it was a line exactly as he described, and it was the who's who of commercial real estate, and not just from Chicago. People flew in for that. But I do want to say this. It was the happiest, sad occasion that I can remember being a part of. He was that kind of guy. He personally wrote me into volunteerism at SIOR. That's why I mentioned him yesterday. I remember flying to Florida for an SIOR event in Boca and sharing a taxi with him over to the hotel, and it took a little while. And between the time we left the airport and the time we got to the hotel, he had diagnosed and treated just about every one of my problems. He was that kind of a guy. And there were a lot of stuff to talk about, let me tell you. So it really is, as great as it is for the Calderas, it's great for us to be able to award it to you. One more round of applause for Len. He was an amazing guy. I'm gonna get all choked up. So volunteers like Len or Howell Watson, Matthew, who received a crystal a little earlier, and many of you, so many of you, are the lifeblood of SIOR. We were founded to serve the greater good of the commercial real estate industry, right? 1941, everybody knows that story at this point. And we're here today to continue to serve the greater good. That's a volunteerism effort, and it's important to the health and well-being of our association. There are so many ways that a member can get involved. So consider this to be your call to service. People have been asking me for the last 2 or 3 days, in fact, not just the last 2 or 3 days, but for as long as I've been in SIOR, what can I do? How can I get involved? And so I just want to really quickly go through some really simple, easy things, progressing maybe to some more time-consuming or more specific volunteer opportunities, because there are so many ways. And if everybody does just a little bit, this society grows better and stronger than it already is. So we just celebrated 75 years, but now let's talk about the next 75 years and how we get there. What's the first thing you can do? Wear the pin. How about just wear the pin, right? So in the last 2 days, I've heard at least a dozen stories of I was wearing my pin and somebody asked me what it was, and I told them it was the greatest real estate organization in the world, and that's all I said. And it led to a piece of business, or it led to a meeting, or it led to a conversation, or it led to an application for membership. You have to wear your pin with pride. I can't tell you anything more important than that. And I'm not going to do it now, but I could tell you stories personally of monetizing it into real transactions, real commissions, just because I was sitting on a plane wearing a blazer with this on it. It does happen. I wear it with pride. I want you to do the same thing. And by the way, I love the new logo. Let's just say, show of hands. How many people love the new logo? I think it's amazing. Thank you. I think absolutely amazing. So what else can you do? We're largely a chapter-led organization. We have 44 or 45 chapters. I guess I need to memorize that now. Is it 44 or 45? Yeah, 48. It's what I said, 48. I will get it right by a year from now, when it's Dell's turn. Chapters have regular meetings, regular interactions with members on a regional or local basis. Really easy way for folks to get involved, right? Here at National, we have committees, we have task force. Almost all of them are open and available. All you have to do is raise your hand and let somebody on staff or somebody in leadership know, I might be interested in that. We have tech committees, we have membership committees, we have committees for committees. No, I'm teasing, but there's so many ways to get involved, and that's where a lot of the magic happens, right? If you put something into it, you can expect to get a lot out of it. If you put nothing into it, but are expecting a lot out of it, there's probably a mismatch in that equation, I've got to believe, right? Committees are a great place. How about this? How many people are reading the SIOR blog, which is amazing, by the way? It's really good. Have you ever thought about writing a blog post or participating in an article for the SIOR Report magazine? Because I know Alexis Fermanis sends out a solicitation once a quarter saying, we're going to be writing these articles. Who would like to be interviewed? All you have to do is respond. You're on the list. We want your expertise. We want your opinion. We want your participation. Attending conferences, which apparently all of you have figured out is worthwhile. So give yourself a round of applause, right? Attending conferences is a great way to get involved. But while you're here, right, while you're here, maybe you could be a speaker. Sit up here in one of these comfy white chairs. They're nice, by the way. From now on, I want to do that. That was way better than standing up here, sitting down. Or be an ambassador, right? We have candidates, we have prospective members, we have new members, and we have an ambassador program. And I know a lot of the ambassadors that get involved in that program report an enormous level of satisfaction being a part of it and showing somebody new how to engage quickest, fastest, most satisfactorily. Easy place to get involved. How about recruiting? You know, I don't know that it really works this way, but if we all just could bring one new member to SIOR, we would double in size. Simple math, right? It doesn't really quite work that way, but can we all just try to bring one new person to the community? Just one. It's not a big quota, and it's not hard. We're passionate about it. We talk about it. We live it. We love it. We spend money on it. So bringing somebody who fits with our criteria or our community, please, outreach. Just tap them on the shoulder and ask them, would you be interested in getting involved? We can grow that way. How many people submit their transactions when you make them? Right? We're trying to aggregate that data, and that's really important. I'm not seeing enough hands go up. How many people are submitting their transactions? It's so important. Easy way to get involved. Probably one of the easiest. How many people follow SIOR on social media? SIOR Global on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Instagram, right? Am I missing anything? Are we on Snapchat yet? How soon till we're on Snapchat? It's good. We're doing a really nice job with that. All you have to do is search for SIOR on any of these social media channels and join or like or forward or post. And we've all done it at this point. I guarantee it. We've all done it. So we know how easy it is. Simple way to get involved. Suggest a speaker, right? So we have two amazing speakers yesterday and today. But is there somebody you want to hear from in April or next fall or maybe beyond that? Somebody you think would be perfect for the Prologis speaker series? Throw a name out. Tell us why it's a fit. We want to know. You have the ideas. We need to hear from you. And last but not least, good old-fashioned feedback. If you have a comment, if you have a suggestion, if you have gentle critique, right? The staff is working so hard. Nobody's perfect. We missed some things. But still, we want to hear from you. We sincerely want to hear from you. Those are ways you can get engaged, and I probably missed another dozen. Bottom line here, be an SIOR ambassador. Be a brand ambassador. You've invested in it, time, money. You obviously like it. You keep coming back. We appreciate that. Be the biggest, bestest, boldest SIOR brand ambassador that you can be. Talk it up. That's all you really need to do. Another way to engage, by the way, is to donate to the SIOR Foundation. Their annual phone-a-thon is coming up. It's right around the corner. And as you know, here at conferences, they go through some pretty aggressive, pretty important fundraising efforts, and we appreciate that. They support scholarships. They support educational programming. It's an urgent, integral part of what we do at SIOR. We couldn't exist without what they do together with us. I want to mention real quickly that they're also a sponsor, a paid sponsor of SIOR. And when we rolled through all the sponsors yesterday, they were inadvertently omitted. So I want a real quick round of applause for SIOR Foundation because we love you and we appreciate you and we apologize to you for leaving you out yesterday. Please. So I think Aaron Bernard's here and you're going to come up and talk about this conference's Yeti effort. Yes?
Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Aaron Barnard, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Albert McNeil, San Antonio, Texas. I've got 9 seconds left. We had, Albert Hill came up with this idea to commemorate the 75th anniversary. So we had these trucked all over the country to get a 75th anniversary logo put on one side, SIOR Foundation on the other side. $300 donation, $250 of it's tax deductible, and this is the world's best thing to drink your coffee or maybe bourbon in. And I want to thank Albert for this idea and getting these things trucked all over the country, and they spent a couple weeks in his living room even to get here. So, thank you. Table's out the main door right here. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you being brief, but tomorrow I think the foundation is going to come back and spend a little bit more time on the stage going deeper into foundation activities and initiatives. And I, for one, am looking forward to that, and I'm sure many of you are too. So now let's get started with today's program. We're all here to see Tom Brokaw, let's face it. And I know this one's different, and here's how I know. I've been on the stage enough, and I've been in the front row enough to know that we ordinarily have some vacant seats. People tend to stay in the back, and there's always space in the front. And as I look out here this morning, there's not an empty seat anywhere up here. People have come out in droves to hear Tom Brokaw, and we appreciate it, and we're excited to do it. Tom is brought to us by Prologis as part of our Prologis Speaker Series. Prologis is our biggest sponsor. We're very appreciative, of course, to them for that. And through this speaker series, they bring us keynote speakers like Tom. He's legendary. The next generation, I think people brought books to have signed. I don't know that we're going to have an ability to do that, but it sure is an honor to be up here just talking about Tom Brokaw, I'll tell you that. Let's give a round of applause to Prologis and invite Jeremy Giles up here, president of the U.S. Central Region at Prologis, so that he can properly introduce Tom Brokaw to us. Thank you, Prologis. Thank you, Freddie.
You bet.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Want me on the far one or this one?
Whichever you, that's
Okay.
perfect. Good morning. Thank you for having us. I'd like to start with congratulating SIOR on a fantastic and historic conference. And while we've not been involved in SIOR for 75 years, it would now be measured in decades, and I can tell you that relationship means a lot to us. Probably started with relationships that were based on profitability. Those still matter to us. Deepened by friendships that mean a lot to us. And the third thing I'd note is it occurred to us along the way that there was a shared appreciation for intellectual growth. So several years ago, that translated into the Prologis Speaker Series, and we've been privileged to have that role and that relationship with SIOR. We've had some great speakers, but I can tell you I've not been as excited as I am today. We have a speaker who we live in pretty interesting times when you look at what's going on globally, when you look at what's going on domestically. And I think we have someone who's uniquely positioned to give us some context and perspective on it. So I've never been more excited, but wanted to congratulate you on a great conference. Getting to the punch, today we have one of the most trusted and respected figures in broadcast journalism. Tom Brokaw has had a distinguished 50-year career at NBC News, including more than 20 years as the former anchor and managing editor of NBC Nightly News. He most recently served as the host of Meet the Press and continues his work as an NBC News special correspondent. In addition to Nightly News, Brokaw has reported a series of hour-long documentaries, the Tom Brokaw Reports, where he tackles such diverse topics as literacy, affirmative action, drunk driving, corporate scandals, immigration policies, and education. His in-depth reporting has earned critical praise. He's received many honors, including the Edward R. Morrow Lifetime Achievement Award, the Emmy Award for Lifetime Achievement. Tom has a renowned and distinguished record as a political reporter covering every presidential election since 1968. Tom anchored all of NBC's political coverage, including primaries, national conventions, and election nights during his time as anchor at NBC. In 2014, President Obama awarded Tom with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and most recently, France's Legion of Honor Award in May 2016. He's been a best-selling author since 1998, with his first publication, The Greatest Generation, followed by 5 additional best-selling books, and his latest memoir, A Lucky Life Interrupted. So I think we've covered it for probably the one person in the room, if there is one who doesn't know Tom Brokaw. But ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Tom Brokaw.